Okay, so staying in Scotland with our football club histories, we're looking at Dunfermline Athletic Football Club in this video. They're nicknamed the Pars. They play at East End Park, which currently has a capacity of 11,480. Now, the current club is founded in 1885. It splits off from a former club, Dunfermline Football Club, which in itself was founded by members of the Dunfermline Cricket Club. So there's another cricket club origin story when it comes to football clubs in the early days. Now, so the club's founded in 1885 and they play at East End Park. And they've been playing there ever since. The club itself turned professional in 1899 and they entered the Scottish Football League finally in 1912, so just before the First World War. They had a period of success in the 60s, which we'll get onto, but in more recent history, and this is very, very important, the club's nearly gone out of business. So in 2013, the club entered administration. The year before, it was discovered that the football club owed a lot of money to HM Revenue and Customs and unpaid taxes. Now, the ownership at the time was John Yorkston, who was chairman, and Gavin Masterton. And they were the money men behind the club. Now, they basically massively financially mismanaged the club, and there was possibly some criminality involved in that as well, which led to the administration on the 11th of April 2013. Later on that year, a fan group, which is called Pars United, so it's a fan-owned football club now, took over the club following the administration, took them out of administration and stabilised the club. So, yeah, Dunfermline nearly went out of business. They're not the only club to have suffered real badly financially in the last decade or so, 2 decades. It's a big follow-on from the collapse of Setanta. With Rangers and Gretna, Dunfermline were another one of those clubs that really suffered financially, but this was down to more financial mismanagement. So, they're honours, and they've got a couple of bits of silverware. They've only won the Scottish Cup twice, but they've been to many cup finals. They've never won the league. For most of their existence, they've been a second-tier club in Scotland, although they have obviously been in the top flight. So the Scottish Cup they've won twice, the 1960-61 season and the 1967-68 season. That was their peak of their powers was the 60s. They were runners-up 3 times in the Scottish Cup. They liked losing finals to Celtic, it turns out, as well. But they were runners-up in the 64-65 season in the Scottish Cup, the 2003-2004 season in the Scottish Cup, and the 2006-2007 season in the Scottish Cup. The Scottish League Cup they've never won, but they've been runners-up 3 times, the 1949-50 season, the 91-92 season, and the 2005-2006 season. And the Scottish Challenge Cup, which is the Scottish equivalent of the Football League Trophy, they were runners-up in the 2007-2008 season. But they've had some fantastic runs in Europe as well. As a result of winning the Scottish Cup, they obviously qualified for the Cup Winners' Cup for the following season. They made the quarter-finals in the 61-62 season and the semi-finals in the 68-69 season. So they've had some good runs in Europe in their heyday back in the 60s. Their main rivals are Cowdenbeath, who are currently outside the Scottish Football League, Wraith Rovers, who are currently a division above them, and Falkirk, who are in Scottish League One alongside them. Now, this is where the real fun facts come out about the club. Jock Stein was the manager of note when they won the Scottish Cup the first time. He would obviously go on to manage Celtic and the Scottish national side. And some very famous managers who were also ex-players at the club. 2 of them have managed Manchester United. So Alex Ferguson used to play for Dunfermline. So did David Moyes before he managed Everton and Manchester United. And Owen Coyle. So there you go, there's some ex-players who've gone on to be managers in the game. They also played for the club. So there's a brief history of Dunfermline Athletic. Not as successful as they could have been. Imagine if they won all those cup finals, they would have had a fair bit more silverware. They've never won the league, and they're currently in Scottish League One. But yeah, a decade ago, they nearly went out of business, and they're not the only football club in the UK to face administration and be up against it. And we've obviously seen some clubs in recent times go out of business. So Dunfermline, fan-owned club, which is a rarity, that the fans are the majority stakeholders, the Pars United. And yeah, when it comes to lower levels of Scottish football, they're pretty decent. And again, Celtic and Rangers don't win every single trophy. And there was a period where, Dunfermline could have won more silverware. They were a very, very good side in the 60s, and it's a shame they didn't win more Scottish Cups and any Scottish League Cups, because that would have added to the trophy cabinet. But for a small regional club, reasonably successful. Obviously, more recent times, the financial difficulties are well documented. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please place your thoughts in the comments section below, and I'll have some more content for you very, very soon.